9 in the evening. A six-tatami room in Okayama. A woman of 81 lays out her futon, smooths the sheet with both palms, and places three things on the floor beside it: a glass of water, a folded hand towel, a paperback novel, face down, open to the page where she stopped last night. That is all. No phone, no remote, no pill bottles, no clock with glowing numbers. Have you ever really looked at your own nightstand? Most of us could fill a shoebox. Charger cables, a remote, reading glasses we never pick up, a half-empty glass from 2 nights ago. Now picture that patch of tatami floor. Three things, each one with a job that ends by dawn. Japan has more centenarians than any other country on Earth, over 90,000, and almost nobody mentions a supplement or a mattress or a sleep app. They talk about small things, quiet rooms, habits so plain they barely look like habits at all. This video is about 9 of those things. Some sit beside the futon, some are missing on purpose. Most of them you already own, and the first one costs less than a penny. 1. The glass of water. In many Japanese homes, the last thing placed beside the futon at night is a glass of water, and the first thing that happens in the morning is drinking whatever remains. Not a bottle, not a tumbler with a motivational quote. A plain glass, filled once, set on the floor within arm's reach. In a farmhouse kitchen in Nagano, an 86-year-old man fills his glass from the tap every night, carries it upstairs, and sets it in the same spot on the floor, about 8 inches from where his head will be. He drinks once around midnight if he wakes, and finishes the rest before his feet touch the ground. That's the whole system. Meanwhile, most of us reach for our phones before we reach for water. The first thing our hands touch in the morning glows. His doesn't. Here's the quiet part. The glass isn't medicine, but it gives the body's first waking moment a job that isn't a screen. Pour a glass tonight. Set it on your nightstand. Drink it before you check anything tomorrow. They don't try harder than we do. They just put the water closer than the phone. 2. No phone. And speaking of phones, here's what you won't find on that patch of floor. Count the screens within arm's reach of your own pillow right now. Phone. Maybe a tablet. Maybe a remote for the television mounted on the wall. 3 glowing rectangles, all of them ready to light up the room at 2 in the morning with a notification nobody needed. In most Japanese bedrooms over 60, the phone lives somewhere else. The hallway, the kitchen counter, a shelf by the front door, the genkan, where shoes come off and the outside world stops. One retired school teacher in Kyoto keeps her phone in a small basket in the hallway, turned face down, every night by 8:30. She has done this since she got her first smartphone at 72. Not because someone told her screens were bad, because the bedroom, she says, is for sleeping, and things that buzz are not sleeping. The phone still exists, she just decided where it lives after dark, and what fills that space instead is the next thing on the list. 3. The folded hand towel. 5 in the morning. A bathroom in Kyoto, still dark outside. A woman in her late 70s wrings out a small cotton towel in warm water, folds it into a rectangle, and presses it against her face for about 10 seconds. Then her neck, then the backs of her hands. The whole thing takes maybe a minute. The towel was sitting beside her futon when she woke up, folded and dry, waiting for exactly this. In a lot of Japanese homes, a small hand towel beside the bed is as automatic as the pillow itself. It's not a beauty routine. Nobody sells it in a jar. It's a warm cloth on a stiff face at 5 in the morning, and it does something no alarm clock can do. It tells the body that the day has started, gently, before the feet hit the floor. When was the last time the first thing you touched in the morning was warm, soft, and quiet? 4. No glowing clock. What time is it right now? If you sleep with a clock beside your bed, you already know the answer, and that might be the problem. In a fishing village on the coast of Okinawa, the bedrooms go fully dark at night. No charging lights. No standby glow from a cable box. No digital numbers counting the hours in green or red. An 83-year-old fisherman there sleeps in a room so dark he can't see his own hand. He wakes when the light comes through the window, has for 60 years. He doesn't know what time he wakes up and doesn't care. And here's a number that might surprise you. Radio Taiso, Ragio Tieso, the national morning exercise broadcast, has been running in Japan since 1928. Millions of people still follow it every morning. Nobody sets a digital alarm for it. The body just knows. When the room gives you nothing to look at, sleep has one less reason to break. 5. The paperback novel. In Osaka, a retired math teacher reads for exactly 10 minutes every night before sleep. Same chair would be wrong. Same futon. She lies on her side, book propped against the floor, and reads until her eyes start to close. She has averaged about 40 books a year since she retired at 65. That's over 600 books. She keeps a small stack of 3 or 4 beside her futon, rotated from the local library every 2 weeks. Not a tablet, not a backlit screen, paper, ink, and a page folded at the corner. Here's the thing worth noticing. The book is the only item beside the futon that exists purely for pleasure. The water serves the body, the towel serves the morning. The book serves the 10 minutes between lying down and letting go. It's the last waking act, and it asks nothing of you except to keep reading until you can't. You probably own a book you haven't finished. Set it beside your bed tonight, and leave the phone in the kitchen. 6. And now here's the one that surprised me. Tomorrow's clothes. 8:30 in the evening. A couple in their 80s in Naha, Okinawa. She folds tomorrow's outfit and sets it on a low wooden stool beside the futon. His goes on the tatami next to his pillow, squared at the corners like a letter ready to mail. Shirt, trousers, socks, all stacked in the order they go on. This isn't military discipline. It's a small gift to 5 in the morning legs that don't want to make decisions in the dark. They've done this every night for over 50 years. Think about your own mornings. How many start with standing in front of a closet, half awake, choosing between 2 shirts that look the same? That decision, small as it sounds, is a tiny friction. And at 80, tiny frictions are what separate a morning that moves from a morning that stalls. What these couples figured out, without reading a single productivity book, is that bedtime is not the end of today. It's the first 5 minutes of tomorrow, rehearsed in advance. The clothes on the stool aren't laundry. They're a promise that morning already knows what to do. So far, everything we've talked about sits beside the futon, or fills the quiet before sleep. But the next few are about what's missing. And the missing things might matter most of all. 7. No food, no snacks. Picture the average American nightstand. A sleeve of crackers, a granola bar, maybe a bag of almonds someone said were heart healthy. Now picture the floor beside a futon in rural Shikoku. A 79-year-old grandfather finishes dinner at 6:30, washes his bowl, and the kitchen closes. Not locked, just finished. By the time he lays out his futon at 9, eating is something that happened earlier, in another room, at a table, sitting upright. Food and sleep live in different rooms of the house and different hours of the evening. There's no willpower involved. The kitchen is simply not where he sleeps, and the bedroom is simply not where he eats. When food never enters the room, the body stops expecting it there. What would your nightstand look like if everything edible disappeared tonight? 8. No pills on display. This one needs a careful word. Many people take medication, and that's between them and their doctor. Nothing in this video says otherwise. But here's what you'll notice in a lot of Japanese homes. The medicine doesn't live beside the bed. A woman in her mid-80s, in Nagano, takes 3 pills every morning. They sit in a small ceramic dish on a kitchen shelf, next to the tea canister, right where she stands when the kettle boils. She takes them with her first cup of green tea, standing up, in daylight, as part of the morning, not as the last thing she sees before sleep, or the first thing she grabs in the dark. The pills are not hidden, they're just filed under morning. not night. And that changes what the bedroom means. The space beside her pillow holds a glass of water and a folded towel, not a row of bottles reminding her of everything the body needs help with. The medicine still exists. It just lives in the kitchen, beside the tea, where it belongs to the day, and that leaves the bedroom free to do the one thing a bedroom should do. 9. The empty floor. And this is the one that ties it all together. 5 in the morning, back in that apartment in Okayama, the 81-year-old woman from the opening wakes without an alarm. She drinks what's left in the glass, wipes her face with the towel, closes the novel, marks the page, then she stands up, folds the futon in half, folds it again, slides it into the closet, and carries the glass back to the kitchen. The towel goes to the bathroom, the book goes to a small shelf by the window, and the bedroom disappears. It becomes a room again, just 6 tatami mats and morning light through paper screens. There is no nightstand. There never was. It was a small, clear patch of floor with a job that ended at dawn. Most of us wake up surrounded by the same objects we fell asleep with. The same clutter, the same cup, the same tangled charger cable. The room never resets. It just accumulates. What this woman does every morning, without thinking about it, is erase the night. She puts it away, and the room she walks out of looks nothing like the room she lay down in. It's not organization, it's not minimalism, it's the idea that sleep is a guest, and when the guest leaves, you clear the table. They don't hold on to the night, they fold it up and put it away. A glass of water, no phone, a folded towel, no glowing clock, a paperback novel, tomorrow's clothes on a stool, no food in the bedroom, no pills beside the pillow, and every morning, the whole thing folds up and the room starts over. 9 things. None of them cost more than a few dollars. The pattern underneath is simple. Nobody decided to be disciplined about sleep. The room does the work. The unhealthy thing was never invited in. Remember her? The woman in Okayama, smoothing the sheet at 9? Now you know why she sleeps the way she does. It was a glass of water, a towel, and a book. Everything else she just didn't bring to bed. You don't need a futon or tatami floors. Look at your nightstand tonight. Pick one thing that doesn't serve the next 8 hours, and take it out of the room. Just one. Tomorrow night, maybe one more. Which one thing would you remove first? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. If this made you think of someone who sleeps next to a nightstand full of things they never touch, send them this video. If it was worth your time, the like button tells me to make more like it. Next time, we're stepping into the first 30 minutes after a Japanese senior opens their eyes. If you want that one to find you, subscribe. 5:15 in Okayama. The futon is in the closet, the glass is in the kitchen, the room holds nothing but light. She looks back at the empty floor and walks out to start her morning. The room doesn't remember the night at all.